From space-time myths to quantum mysticism, the descent into abstraction only deepened. Once gravity was reduced to geometry, the next step was to atomize all phenomena into a zoo of imaginary particles. The so-called standard model of physics isn't a model, it's a salvage yard, an ever-growing patchwork list of invisible entities whose only proof is their paperwork. We were told, light is a photon, a particle with no mass, yet momentum. Fields are quantized but never explained. Forces are mediated by virtual particles which don't exist in space or time. Nothing is knowable, only the probability of observation. And that's how physics was taken hostage. Enter the Copenhagen conspiracy. The Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics was the coup de grace of scientific integrity. It said particles don't exist until you measure them, that nothing is real until you observe it. That reality itself is a hallucination agreed upon by the act of measurement. This wasn't science, it was a religion, an anti-Tesla cult designed to make you doubt your senses, your intuition, and ultimately your ability to grasp the real universe. So, at this point everything kind of became a question mark. Is light a wave or a particle? Well, both, depending on the setup. What causes quantum jumps? Honestly, that's still unknown. And where is the electron between measurements? Nowhere. This frankly is hand-waving at best and, well, deception at worst. Tesla rejected all of it. Tesla's understanding of light, electricity and force was unified. He saw no need to create fictitious particles. Light to him was a transverse excitation in the dielectric medium. Electricity was just an expression of unbalanced field stress. Particles weren't the cause of fields, they were, concentrations of field effects. He said, and I quote, "All matter comes from a primary substance, the luminiferous ether which fills all space." The quantum world denies this. It asserts a void, an empty nothingness where particles pop in and out, where causality is, well, optional, and where mystery is a feature, not a bug. This led to the Particle Zoo. In their effort to explain electromagnetic weak and strong forces without fields, the physicists of the 20th century conjured dozens of particles, quarks, which can't be isolated, gluons, which can't be seen, bosons, which are said to give mass, neutrinos which pass through the Earth unimpeded but somehow get detected. Each one added to the confusion. Each one required billions in funding. None of them answered any fundamental questions. Where is the field? Where is the medium? Where is the mechanism? They aren't there. Because the standard model isn't a theory, it's a ledger. A bureaucratic list of imaginary workers doing jobs that real fields already handled in Tesla's model. So, let's talk about the double-slit disaster. This is honestly one of the most cited experiments people use to justify quantum theory. You fire photons or electrons through two slits and sure enough you get this interference pattern. But the moment you try to detect which slit they actually go through, the whole pattern just collapses. Supposedly the act of observation itself changes the outcome. But this whole thing assumes the photon is actually a thing, a particle, a packet. Tesla would probably just laugh at that. There is no photon. There's no particle jumping slits. What's really happening is a dielectric field excitation traveling through a medium. The pattern you see? That's a field effect, not some weird particle mystery. And the so-called observer effect? It's just a perturbation of the medium by the measurement apparatus. No magic here, just plain old mechanics. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Honestly, it's more like ignorance than law. Uncertainty isn't some fundamental law of nature, it's really just a confession of ignorance. The whole idea that we can't know both the position and momentum of a particle at the same time is only true if you assume particles are these discrete units flying through a void. But if the universe is actually a field, and so-called particles are just field concentrations, well, the entire framing just collapses. So, Tesla's model, it actually replaces uncertainty with structure. It restores coherence, it brings back causality. And really, it restores the idea that nature is knowable, that engineering, not magic, rules the cosmos. So, why did the quantum model persist? Well, because it served power, because it made physics mysterious and exclusive. Because honestly, it justified spending $10 billion on colliders just to look for particles that, don't even exist. And because it buried the truth, that radiant energy is everywhere, that matter is field, not some solid substance. That Tesla's broadcast power was, in fact, real. That free energy isn't pseudoscience, it's actually forbidden science. The irony here? All those so-called quantum effects actually have classical analogs. Tunneling? That's just field resonance. Superposition? Coherent modes? Entanglement? Synchronized field states? There's really no need for spooky action, no need for wave function collapse, and honestly no need for Schrodinger's undead cat. They built this empire of mystery just to hide the clarity Tesla left behind. He worked with the medium while they, well, denied the medium. He built devices, they built equations, he sought coherence, and they, frankly, sold confusion. Next, Chapter 5, The Energy Cartel. How the suppression of dielectric science led to global dependency, centralized control, and the erasure of Tesla's legacy.